Jim Cramer warns investors still betting on high growth stocks, quote, "I don't think it is going to work." This is the same guy that tells you to buy Bear Stearns at $50 per share. 2 weeks later, it's sitting at $2 per share. This is the same guy that tells you to buy Netflix the day before their earnings, which the next day Netflix dropped 30%. Then he tells you to sell that same stock. These are the hedge funds and institutions that want you to sell out at the bottom. And it makes me very frustrated when these same guys, where they don't have a worry in the world, they are paid by the fear that they instill to you, but they insist that you sell your stock at the bottom. Why? So they can buy it, so they can cover on their short positions, so they can make you returning viewers and customers. That's not what we stand for here on this channel. We do not advocate that you sell at the bottom. As far as AMC is concerned, you are selling at its fundamental valuation. And why would you ever sell at its fundamental valuation when it has such a bright future ahead of it, as well as a short squeeze? All indications tell us that shorts refuse to cover on their short positions. And what do complacent short sellers end up receiving in the end? A major ass kicking by 4 million pissed off retail investors that own over 90% of the float of AMC stock. So we have a lot to get into here in this video. The work is cut out for us. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. As well as that, if you want to join the trading community, we have a lot of great trades heading into next week, as well as a lot of opportunities next week and heading into the next couple of weeks you want to be a part of. So check that link out pinned down below in the top comment. Go ahead, get yourself some free stock as well with Webull, Moomoo, and Public. Link down below in the description of this video. Now let's start off this video with a very simple question, and I want to know your guys' thoughts on this down below in the comment section. But why do you think hedge funds, institutions, banks, Jim Cramer, I'm going to call him out specifically, financial media, the shills, and the bots fear you? Well, you hold a lot of power. You hold the future of this trade in your hands, and they all have something to lose. Whether it's Jim Cramer being proven wrong again, and he has a lot more times he's been wrong in the past than he's actually been right in the past. The banks, hedge funds, they have a lot to lose. The scams and the bots, they want to get over on your emotions because you're down on the trade, and they want to provide you some financial advice and guidance by a fake guru in the comment section. You guys have seen those comment bots. It's impossible to delete them all. I do personally try. That's what these guys have to lose, as well as, like I said, the hedge funds, institutions. They have a lot to lose because they are the main guys that are going to lose when all of this comes crashing down, because they are the ones with the short positions, the naked shorts, the synthetic shorts, the over leveraging. Everybody else has something to lose, whereas what? The apes, the retail investors, you have already lost, in my opinion, as much as you are going to lose because you are at that fundamental valuation. Now, do not get it confused. Could we go lower in AMC stock? Of course we could. Of course there could be another reason to short the stock down even lower. We could see the short interest go to 50%. The stock could go to $10 or $8. Would it stay there for a prolonged period of time? Absolutely not. And this is not financial advice. This is more so common sense. Why do they want you to sell out at the bottom? That's the main question. It's because all of what I just went over here in that speech. They want you to sell out because they are afraid of you. And this year is really the first year since this trade has started where you are going to see a normal box office year. The pandemic is pretty much over. AMC is open 100%. You're finally seeing major films hitting the box office yet again. The Batman, currently soaring to $110 million, opening after $55 million Friday evening update. Friday update, 6:16 p.m. ComScore is back online, with numbers trickling in, and industry estimates are seeing at least $110 million for the Batman over 3 days after what is expected to be a $55 million Friday, including previews. The anticipation by many is that these numbers for the near 3-hour movie should grow. As of this minute, Batman is the 6th best opening for March after Beauty and the Beast, $174.7 million, Batman vs. Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, The Hunger Games, and Alice in Wonderland. So this is the best opening that we have seen in a very long time. You're talking about years here. This is even a better opening from what I can tell than we even seen with the last Spider-Man movie. And if we see the demand continue to come in strong for Batman, Batman could do better than Spider-Man. I'm not personally expecting that, but I do think it will be somewhat close. Now, why am I so excited about this in particular? Well, it's because the hedge funds, institutions, Jim Cramer, the Shills, the bots, they don't want you to know, and this is never talked about by any of them, but AMC is a much more efficient business now. About 30% more efficient, to be exact. So if AMC even gets back to its pre-pandemic revenue numbers in between $5 and $5.5 billion, they're going to be 30% more efficient. So instead of 2018, 2019, AMC having to spend about $4.5 billion to make about $5.5 billion of revenue, maybe they only have to spend $3.5 billion to make $5.5 billion of revenue. What does that mean? Long story short, more profits to the bottom line. We are already seeing positive EBITDA from AMC stock, and this is only going to get better in 2022, as well as the multiple other initiatives that AMC has started and they plan to do throughout 2022. So as the story gets better, as all of these entities that I have previously just went over stand to lose more, you stand to make more, and they want you to sell out because they are scared of you. That's the simple and honest truth. Now, let's get into some other things that you need to know. I'll keep you guys up to date on exactly what the numbers are over this weekend from Batman, but it does look like it is going to be a very solid movie. Now, back to the fear and deception, and why they are really scared of you, and how they are trying to push this incentive on you that growth is done. AMC could never squeeze. Sell your stock at the bottom, take your 50% loss, and run away. Well, another big reason for that, and why they're doing that, is they tie it to the Fed. They tie it to interest rates. As we can see for March 16th, markets are expecting a 0.25% rate hike of about 94.9% of investors are expecting that. 5% of investors are expecting a 0% rate hike. But go down the line. Let's go to November. Investors, by and large, are expecting rates to be in between 1.25% and 1.5% by about a margin of 42.9%. So they say, hey, AMC, specifically AMC, but growth stocks as well, are done because of this. Let me be the bearer of good news. The Fed is not going to hawk down on the economy in the way that people project they do. Economists, banks, hedge funds, especially Jim Cramer, they're always wrong when it comes to the Fed. And I plan to make a video on exactly why I think the Fed will not be as bearish as people expect them to be in 2022. But long story short, it comes down to earnings. They're not going to be as great as people think. You're going to see GDP slowing down at a very rapid pace. And I do think you will see inflation start to tick down as the Fed is kind of starting to say, hey, instead of focusing on a 2 to 2.5% interest rate, we're just going to focus on a 3 to 3.5% interest rate and call that good. And obviously that's averaged out over time. So stay tuned for that video. That's going to be very, very bullish as far as AMC is concerned and this squeeze trade that we have right now. But that's another reason why a lot of these entities point to, hey, it's never coming back. AMC's never going to squeeze. Sell out now. Take your 50% loss. Well, we just aren't having that here on this channel. And I want to provide you guys the real news, not the fake news. Now, as far as some of the other data is concerned, AMC's max pain for next week is 1850. If you guys are unaware, max pain is essentially where the hedge funds institutions will inflict the most pain for option buyers. The market makers, they are the option sellers. They take about 90% of the back end of options. So you do see them typically pin a stock at this max pain price or close to it because they want to collect as much money as possible. If they could put, say, $1 million into shorting a stock on Thursday so they can assure $5 million of profit because your options run out of the money on Friday, they're going to do that every single time, and that's exactly what they do. But in the meantime, they accumulate more short positions. And the egotistical battle here delays them from covering on their short positions, from playing things from a logical standpoint. As you guys can see, the short interest is sitting at 20.91%. Current shares that are sold short of 107.7 million. Cost to borrow max of 2.32%, and the utilization is at 100%, while the days to cover is sitting at 2.5%. So looking very bullish, and it's not looking like hedge funds are giving up anytime soon. As the fundamentals get better, the shorting does continue. But at the same time, once the Fed does U-turn, I think you're going to see a major rally in the markets. But like I've said many times, I don't think the Moass is around the corner. I actually think the Moass is going to really happen late September, possibly in the fall timeframe, for a lot of other reasons that I've went over in many videos. So if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, then you probably don't know why I am saying that, and I will probably go over it over this weekend. So that's why you guys want to subscribe to the channel, so you can stay up to date with the mindset here and the facts around this trade. Let's move on to something else. Let's talk about the institutional filings. We could see a lot of green here. Lots of green here. A lot of firms are loading up on their positions, and even in the white here, you guys can see most firms are actually adding to their positions, and the firms that are selling out have very small positions, like very, very small positions. Some of these numbers you're seeing right here, like reducing their position by 19%, they only have 3,700 shares. Like very small moves that these hedge funds are making. Look right here, a scary number. Decrease their position by 65% while they only have 6,300 shares. Not really reflective of anything. And then you see a firm adding about 30% right here, but they own 83,000 shares. So when you look at all of this, I think the situation looks more bullish than not bullish. And if you look at the technicals, you see a lot of support at about $15 per share. A clear level of support. So even if you sold right now, I mean, we're at $16.57 or $16.58 per share. You only stand to lose, in my opinion, down to $15 per share unless we see a market meltdown, which is very much possible, but improbable in my personal opinion. The financial health in the markets is pretty solid right now. So in the near term, you don't really stand to lose all too much, in my personal opinion. Now, keep in mind, my average position in AMC in the mid 30s, $35 to $40 per share, depending on what portfolio you're looking at. So I am down a lot. I'm not trying to be your cheerleader here, but just give you guys the facts straight up how I see them. And the facts here, Russian economy is tanked. The institutions, hedge funds, and banks are taking massive losses. The Chinese economy is also tanked. You guys don't hear about it as much because there's a lot of other things going on in the world that have a lot more precedent. But the financial conditions in China are terrible, and you will hear about it again probably in late spring, early summer. You're going to see a lot of those fears coming back up, and the contagion is massive. Everybody is involved in this, and everybody's involved in this using leverage as well. So it makes that loss that much worse. So Russia, China clapped. Probe on Citadel and the banks. Also clapping them. You're seeing AMC's business getting better on a fundamental scale, but yet they want you to sell out of your position. Sounds a little fishy there. And the cherry on top is the SEC and the transparency rules that are finally looking like they will come to fruition. It's not until August 26th when the comments close for those proposed rule changes, and then we will get more clarity on that situation. But even without the SEC, crumble that up on a piece of paper, throw it in the trash. SEC really doesn't help us too much. They really don't care about you. They care about the institutional investors, the guys with billions of dollars, to say, hey, the markets, they're not corrupt. Invest your money. Keep making us get paid, supporting us. That's what they want. But even without that, or with that, this situation looks really, really good. And it's never looked better, in my personal opinion, for all of the reasons that I've went over here in this video. So stay tuned throughout this weekend. I have a lot of videos planned and a lot of very bullish things that I need to get out to you. Again, I'm not your cheerleader here. Feel free to do what you guys want to do with your positions. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner, but right now it seems like the sky is the limit and everybody is afraid of the apes. So let's get this money. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to comment down below. What is your thoughts? Do you think hedge funds, institutions, banks, Jim Cramer, even other fucking countries, oligarchs, whoever it is scared of the apes? Seems like everybody is. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. Join the trading community, link down below in the pinned comment as well as that, get yourself some free stock, link down below in the description with Webull, Moomoo, and Public. Worst case scenario, you sign up, support the channel. I do get a free share from you guys doing that. You can sell your 5 free stocks and buy yourself some AMC before the Moass. I think that's a pretty good game plan if you do say so myself. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later on throughout this weekend.